Hey, you. What's that? You want a new smartphone? What's it gonna cost? $1,000? I got a secret. You can get one for under $600. No joke. Do we really need $1,000 to get a decent smartphone? It's a good question. I have an answer. This is the Oneplus 6T. My name is Mac. This is my channel B4YB. Thanks for watching, and I'm going to be doing my full review on this phone. So before you buy a new smartphone, watch the review. It might change your mind.
They say that your phone is an extension of yourself. I kind of agree with that. I don't know where I heard it, but I heard it from someone before. I feel like the Oneplus 6T personifies who I am. It's understated, it's functional, and it's deep. Oneplus has paid a lot of attention to the details, from the whole overall unboxing experience to its user interface. There's an overall theme and design language that they follow, and it's really nice to see this. I'm so glad a smartphone manufacturer is sticking to something that they believe in. I don't consider this as a cheap phone in any way. That's for good reason. It's not. It's a $600 smartphone. That's a lot of money. But it's definitely cheaper than a $1,000 smartphone. We're seeing this trend of $1,000 flagship phones. I think it's ridiculous, but I'm glad OnePlus is sticking to their guns. And yes, I'm not going to ignore the fact that their smartphones are getting more expensive every year. But I'm glad that it's not crazy. Let's hope it stays that way. Let's talk about the camera. That's good. No, scratch that. It's great. But don't get me wrong, this is not going to beat out the Pixels or iPhones out there. Pro tip, use a Google camera app. After using this, I feel like the shots that I got, the kind of the colors that come out from it are better. And it's not as overexposed as all the stock photos I took with the stock camera app. Plus you can get the night mode with the Pixel 3 camera app. I feel like it's much better than OnePlus's version. Front-facing camera, on the other hand, not so good compared to the Pixel, but like I said, using the Google camera app makes it better. Let's talk about that notch too. It's very unobtrusive, not in the way. I love this alert slider. I feel like more smartphone manufacturers need to step up their game and include this, because having to unlock your phone just to turn your phone in silent is kind of ridiculous. I love this and I use it almost every day. I feel like this is something that, OnePlus needs to stick to and keep including this in their future smartphones. Yeah, OnePlus has removed the headphone jack. I know that really sucks, but personally it doesn't affect me. My bigger complaint is the speaker placement. It really sucks having a fake grill there. It doesn't even work as stereo speakers. And it don't sound that great. It is louder than my Pixel, which is weird, but can easily be blocked and it gets distorted once it reaches the higher levels. So yeah, that sucks. Probably the weakest point of the phone. One thing though, this phone reminds me of the Nexus devices when Google used to make the Nexus phones. And it does give me that nostalgic feeling just because the Nexus devices were such a good value at the time. And I really miss those phones, and I feel like Google kind of dropped the ball when they killed that line and then introduced the Pixel line. Don't get me wrong, I love the Pixel phones, but this is just something I feel with this phone. I feel like it's very relatable to the Nexus device. So if you've ever used a Nexus phone, take a look at this. You might enjoy it. Now let's talk about battery life, because we got a huge win over here. I'm just getting all day battery life. I'm so glad they made the phone a little bit thicker to give me more juice, made space for a bigger battery. Smartphone manufacturers need to really take a look at that. has all those trade-offs, such as not having wireless charging, no official IP rating, no headphone jack, no micro SD card slot, not the best camera in the world for a smartphone. But I can look past all these things because when I'm using it every day, it's that device. I always come back to it. I always love how smooth Oxygen OS is. The gestures are way better than Google's implementation, which is kind of sad. And just overall day-to-day use for this phone is just way more fluid than my experience with the Pixel 2 XL. That's the main reason why I got rid of it. I did a video on this before, but I keep coming back and comparing it to it because the Pixel used to be my favorite Android phone. But I feel like if you really want a good Android experience and you don't like skins from Samsung or LG, this is the phone to get. I'm willing to trade those features for the software experience. Just in the 1 month of me owning this device, I've already gotten 3 updates, and they're always improvements for either the reliability and getting rid of bugs. So OnePlus has really got a dedicated team in their software department. I'm really happy about that. When it comes down to it, who is this smartphone made for? Like I said, it's made for the people that enjoy being able to customize their smartphone, customize their Android experience. And even if you're coming from an iPhone and you're curious and you want to use an Android device, I would fully recommend this phone. That in-screen fingerprint sensor is just a really good implementation. I know a lot of reviewers out there have been saying it's slow. You might want to re-enroll your fingerprints. Personally, for me, it works really well. Snapdragon 845, 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage. You're not being shorted out here. It is a little slippery, so I recommend using a case. But like I said, this is a great smartphone experience and do not regret purchasing the device. I get asked all the time, what phone is that? What phone is that? And that's sort of a perk of having this phone. A lot of people don't know what it is. But a lot of people just don't trust the brand or don't really know OnePlus that well. And most people in the tech community know the brand, obviously, but for the average Joe, they don't really know who OnePlus is. I think this has been their widest release, so hopefully gain more traction. But do you really need to spend $1,000 for a smartphone? In short, you don't.